Alright, so we're sufficiently drunk enough to be making frosting now. I'm just going to make sure the cream cheese is soft enough to be workable. Check that shit out. It's all spreading around like butter and crap. Totally filming this on a jerry rig, so if it shakes, I'm sorry. So we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of butter with our spatula because it doesn't want to come out. Ugh. Ow! Scrape all that shit out and get rid of that cup. And the vanilla was already in here when I was trying to soften up the cream cheese, which is why you didn't see it. But now we're going to whip this shit together. Now, if you're a badass and you have an upright mixer, you can just make your upright mixer do this for you. But I'm not a badass. I don't have an upright mixer, so I have to do this by hand. A smaller bowl would also lend itself to being able to whip the shit out of this pretty effectively, but that would require being a smart person. And I am not that. Especially when this stuff is involved in my evening. For action mixing cam. Okay, so now we're going to start doing the 4 cups of powdered sugar. I'm not a brand snob. Yeah, I used to shop at Walmart. That's how often I get powdered sugar. I haven't been to Walmart in like 3 years. This probably isn't even good anymore. Who gives a fuck? We're going to end up with 4 cups of powdered sugar in this by the end. But you only incorporate it 1 cup at a time because that's fucking sensible. And that's what the recipe says to do. And I don't fuck with recipes today. Go mix the shit in with the cream cheese and the butter and vanilla. Because we're making some motherfucking buttercream cream cheese frosting. Because that's what people like. And this is why we only do 1 cup at a time. Because see, that shit went nice and quick. Already all mixed in there. You want it to be smooth because fucking frosting is smooth. It's not chunky, otherwise they would call it not frosting. They would call it some other shit that means it's chunky. Alright, we're on to cup number 2. And cup number 2. See, look at that. It's so kind. It just wants to mix together. Get your spatula up in its business. I don't know if you can hear the Star Trek in the background, but in this fucking house, we watch Star Trek while we bake things. Because just not nerdy enough doing one or the other, I guess. Look at all of this crap. Get your fingers in there. Your clean fingers. Don't let your dirty fingers in there. Don't play with your cockapoo and then stick your fingers in your batter because people get kind of pissy about that sort of shit. Nobody wants the taste of cockapoo in their baked treats. It's just the way it is. Cup number 3 of the powdered sugar. Not to be confused with crack cocaine. That's a different recipe for a different day. Gonna mix it all up in here. Alright, cup number 4 is already in there because I got really overzealous and forgot that I was sharing, and sharing is caring. So cup number 4. The 4th and final. again, with your clean finger. I'm sure there's a more sanitary and, like, kitchen-friendly food service method to do this, but I have since forgotten it. You know, since those many years ago in my youth when I worked in the bakery at hometown. Pretty sure we used to scrape this shit on the side of the bowl and just push it back in. But we're not there. This is my food and I do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, so this is pretty thick frosting. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's gonna work, but if you find, for whatever reason, your frosting is too thick and not very spreadable or whatever, you can always thin it out a little with like a 1/4 cup of warm water. And just add in like a 1/4 cup, you put it right towards the middle, and you're just going to smoothly stir it in. And it should smooth everything out and thin it out. Depending on what flavor frosting you're doing or what you're putting it on, you might want to do lemon juice or orange juice instead. And that's going to thin it out a lot faster. You want to do that at about 2 tablespoons instead of a 1/4 cup. I'm thinking I'm going to take this up 1 notch and do the Martha Stewart way of things. We're going to put it in this bag. And what you do is you load it in the bag. You're going to squeeze it towards the bottom corner. Leave a little pinch here because you're going to cut that shit off. And once you cut that off, however big it is how big your squeeze spout is going to end up being. So if you cut just the tip just to see how it feels, you're only going to get just the tip to see how it feels, and you can make little squigglies and stuff depending on how thick your frosting is. We're probably just going to go maybe like a 1/4 inch in, so we have like a nice little 1/4 to 1/2 inch opening, so I could just, you know, splooch it on top of my cupcakes. So, you're going to get a glass. Mine's my badass Coca-Cola glass. And we're going to stick a plastic bag all up in here. Put your finger in the tip. And you're just going to push that into your glass. Oh, don't let it stick on your hands. Hold the sides down, and now you don't have to worry about frosting getting on your zipper. So we got the tip all the way down in there. Then we're going to take our super duper scratch frosting. We're just going to scrape it all the fuck in there because I have an awesome bowl with a pour spout on it. Sorry for the shaky cam. Getting a little full. Again, just roll your edges back out the way because you don't want frosting all over your edges or your zippers or... Oh my god, there's frosting on my finger. It tastes so dirty. Okay. Let's finish scooping this into the bag. So this is supposed to yield about 2.5 cups, which should very easily fit into a 2-quart bag. But since this is this fucking house, nothing's easy. So we're having a little finesse here, trying to get all my delicious scratch frosting into the bag. And you can just take your finger, oh, I'm blocking myself. You can take your finger behind the bag and just scrape off. You don't want your finger in the bag because that's messy and gross. And yeah, but if you put it behind the bag, you can scrape your spatula off and all your delicious frosting stays on the inside. Tasty, tasty frosting. Shaky, shaky, shaky. And then we go zipper to the zip. Go ahead and get the air out of there. We don't need no fucking air. Not in this fucking bag. So now we're done with this glass. But not this one. We have here a frosting bag with our nice little air bubble in the bottom corner. Guess what's gonna happen? Just the tip. Before we chop the tip off, get yourself whatever container you're going to be storing said delicious cupcakes in. This could be a beautiful plate, but we're using a Tupperware because we don't eat our treats very fast and no one's around to see them be pretty. So you're going to load your cupcakes, obviously, onto or into whatever device involved with your cupcake fucking transportation. Oh my god, it's sticking. Stop sticking. Shouldn't be sticking. We used cupcake liners. The cupcake liners line the cupcakes so that they're not so sticky. They're like cake condoms for your individual pleasure. I got sad and I didn't want to have plain cupcakes, so I made little flowers out of the foil. And then I thought it wouldn't be fair if I didn't show you how to make flowers out of the foil. So you have your cupcake. You just take your thumb and 2 fingers and you go like that.
Your tongue?
My thumb! Because I'm Polish and I don't make that TH sound. And then you go a little ways over, and it just depends on how big you want your petals or how far out you want them to go. But it's kind of like crimping a pie, only backwards. You've never...
Groovy.
What?
And it's groovy.
It's not groovy.
Yeah, it's groovy.
It's beautiful.
I know, groovy's beautiful.
Groovy's not always beautiful.
Sure it is.
You're distracting me and my cupcake's coming out all retarded. When everybody says, Anna, how come in your demo video your cupcake foil came out all retarded? I'm gonna be like, it's husband's fault. He was all up in this fucking kitchen while I was fucking cooking.
And it's a grooviness.
And telling me my cupcakes are groovy.
They are groovy.
There's nothing groovy about carrot cupcakes.
Yes, and they're wow thing.
But see,
It
you
makes
just
it
go.
hot thing, because they're groovy.
Anyway, we have our floury tin now.
Groovy.
And we're going to finally take the tip off of our frosting bag. But just the tip.
Okay.
Just to see how it comes out. See, we just took off that little tip with our scissors. You can come in here and see too.
What is that?
It's a frosting bag.
Okay, frosting bag. Go ahead.
Yeah, I made a frosting bag out of...
No, I'm going to stay out of the way. Just do it.
Okay. But you should probably cut it while it's in your hand so you don't have to fucking fight with it. But basically, there's the tip, and you're going to use it just like you would like a Wilton kit, but don't squeeze too hard because otherwise the sides will rip. Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to start at the middle and I didn't, and now it's going to look all stupid. No, it won't. I'm going to make it look beautiful on purpose. That's what I'm going to do. Look, it almost looks like a flower or a snail. It's a fucking snail. Yeah. Snail made out of frosting. He even has his little antennae because I'm fucking awesome. This one we're going to start at the middle and we're just going to squeeze up vertically. So it makes like that cool frosting top that you always see at fucking Nadia's.
It looks like a cow patty.
No, it doesn't. Cow patties aren't white.
I'm not talking about the color.
Well, how could something white and creamy and beautiful remind you of a cow patty?
The way it came out of the bag.
And see, you can make all kinds of designs. Because it's buttercream.